Hello, bookers and bookettes. Welcome back to the channel, or in some cases, welcome to the channel. I am here with the second installment of the last book in Emily Krepp's trilogy. This book is called Slowly We Die. So, here we go. Okay, so Henrik and Mia go to interview Aida for what? The third, maybe fourth time now? Well, she didn't want them to speak to her sister Sarah anymore because Ted told her that if Sarah told anything he had done, he would cause Sarah to no longer be with us. All right, so then Henry placed photos of the man named Ted in front of Aida, and she correctly ID'd him. I think his name is Ted Henriksson. Henrik called Yana to update her on the latest suspects named Ted, and together they made the decision to go and see him. Now, he, meaning Ted, admitted to seeing Aida and Sarah's mother off and on for about 3 years. And then he went on to try to come on to Yana. But now you know that just was not happening. I guess Ted just didn't know. That probably saved his life. Okay, Sandra is at Philip and Lena's house. Philip don't really care to deal with Sandra outside of work, but she is friends with his wife, Lena. Now, this so-called friend has given Lena the impression that he was cheating on her. And it didn't help matters that he was not wearing his wedding ring. He had lost it. But instead of coming clean to Lena or even asking Yana to be on the look, well, maybe that ain't what he wanted to do either. He just should have told his wife he had lost it. Just leave it there. Henrik updated Yana on the latest info regarding Danilo. His whereabouts, rather. Now, Henrik and Mia are on their way to another crime scene. Yana and Danilo discuss what ways he can make his getaway from her apartment without being caught. And Philip and Lena are at odds, obviously, over what Sandra said. Henrik and Mia discussed the body of missing woman Katarina Lindstone. She'd been tied to a chair, just like the girl's mother, Aida, and Sarah's mother. But instead of her hands being cut off, Katarina's tongue was cut out instead. Yeesh. Oh my gosh. Ted was questioned and arrested in connection to the last two deaths. And Yana got a phone call from her father. He wanted to know about the funeral arrangements, and she told him that the funeral would be at their family summer home and that her ashes would be spreaded on the grounds thereafter. He insisted that she got permission to spread the ashes. Now, Henrik, Mia, and Olaf they are discussing the latest evidence they have so far and what else they need with regards to the most recent deaths. When Yana returned home from jogging, here we go again, I am in no position to be laughing. So I am going to try my best. Now, because my throat is still irritated. It went from the right side to the left. But anyway, she came home from jogging and found Danilo in the kitchen cooking. He was wearing the outfit she bought him, and he was sporting a fresh do-it-yourself haircut. And you can hear the surprise in her voice. Now, instead of asking and or telling her to slice some bread, he threw a hunk of it at her along with a knife. Being the trained aide that she is, she got the bread in one hand and the knife in the other without breaking the conversation. Now that's great. Good is no comparison. She did all of that and they never took eyes off of each other or stopped talking. Okay. But now I guess later on at that dinner, she'd had enough of his antics. She had to turn her colleague Pear away to keep Danilo from hurting him. He, meaning Pear, was the only adult relationship Yana had. If you want to call it a relationship, she would talk to him a little bit. You know, she didn't have anything for anybody at any given time. But that happened. Then so she went in her room and wrote an angry letter to her father. At first I thought it was Carl, but now I believe it's her birth father. She blamed him for never being there when she was a little girl. Now, mind you, she lived with her birth parents up until she was 6. She blamed him for the kids at preschool and kindergarten, I guess we would call it, for teasing and taunting and bullying her, saying that she smelled like alcohol, which at that young age, I guess her birth father must have been an alcoholic because she was taking the alcohol, hiding it in her closet, not knowing that the dad, would find it, and I guess it spilled on some of her clothes or whatnot. But anyway, kids taunted, teased, and bullied her mercilessly. All right. Henrik learned that Katarina's tongue was ripped out with a disposable scalpel while she was still alive. Ooh. Gosh. Yana is once again fed up with Danilo's antics. Now, earlier, I guess it may have been maybe I didn't say it, so let me say it now. I told you that they were discussing ways he could make a getaway without being caught. Well, it was decided that she should take his dirty shirt and plant it so that it would look like Danilo had been wherever she hid it recently. So she told him to give her the dirty shirt. Now, he was doing chin-ups at the time, and I guess he just felt like he couldn't be bothered to stop, so he told her to go get it. She beat the daylights out of that man. And she kept on. He was like, okay, I get it, I'll get you the shirt. Now, she did find a homeless shelter to plant the shirt. Now, just after she planted it, she turned to see 3 men watching her. She had to fight her way out of there, leaving 3 bodies lifeless in her wake. Meanwhile, the police were on the outside. They heard the G-shot from within, so they rushed in to find the 3 lifeless bodies and the man barely breathing. I think that man was in the bathroom when they found him. Now, I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think that those 3 men and Yana were all in the bathroom. Okay, upon returning home from the shelter, though, Danilo forced her to call to report finding 3 bodies in the shelter. It was done anonymously, though. Now, this time, it was Philip and Sombra who answered the latest call. The victim recognized Philip as a former co-worker. Now, Philip is restless and worried and wondering. Didn't have anyone else he could talk to. Sombra was in there supposedly trying to take a nap. But Philip went in to talk to her, and he confided in her, telling her that he knew the last 3 victims. He knew that the first victim, which is Aida and Sarah's mother, he knew she was a surgery nurse. And he also knew that the 3rd victim, his former co-worker, was a surgeon. Then he went on to confess to Sombra that he was worried that he would be the next one to lose his life. But why, he didn't say. Mia and Henry go to talk to Philip, but Lena was who they got. They noticed a pair of tennis shoes that looked like there was some sort of a splatter on the shoes, so they confiscated the shoes to take them down to have them processed. So they asked Lena all kinds of questions, and she answers. And then she asks why they are interested in talking with Philip, and they tell her that, they're just questioning, it's some strangeness or something they've tied together. And Philip is the one common denominator, and she's screaming and crying, saying, no, that can't be right, and I'm pregnant. Now, mind you, she has not had a chance to tell Philip that. Okay. Yana observed bruises on her deceased mother's nose, shoulder, and stomach. So she goes and contacts someone who works. I don't know if it was a doctor or a nurse, but she was told that her mother had most likely passed away from being smothered. Now remember, she had been told that her mother passed away from a heart attack. Philip called and told Lena that he'd done something stupid. But what it was, he hadn't said. He didn't say. Yana and Father Carl went to view Margareta, her body. He took seeing her harder than Yana thought. So he's crying and sniffling and going on. Yana leans over and tells him that they should go. And he says, no, not yet. She says, this isn't a question. I have a meeting I have to go to. He says, well, go then. So she leaves. But as she's getting ready to walk out, she turns and looks over her shoulder and says, I think you need to be the one to order Mother's flowers. You do know her favorite flower, don't you? And I guess he looked like he really didn't know, so she got aggravated and said peonies. And so then she just left. You all may have heard my speaker go off. However, I am still recording, so I'm going to act like I didn't hear it. Okay. Henry called and asked Sombra what she knew about Philip. And she told him that Philip knew he had a pretty good relationship with the last victim, Katerina. Well, no, she would be the second victim, Katerina. She told Henry that Philip knew the lady, and she also said something about him being a sore loser when it came to playing cards and games. But other than that, she really couldn't speak on anything else. Now, you won't tell them that you over there causing trouble in that man's home like that. He may be cheating. Okay. Yana found out that Philip and Sombra were the ones who answered the call the day her mother passed away. And she called Sombra to further inquire, but she got nowhere. Bookers and Buckets, this concludes the second part of Slowly We Die. I hope you all enjoy it as much as I enjoy bringing it. I really like that it didn't take as long for this time as the first part did. Anyway, like I said, this concludes this segment. So, subscribers, please don't forget to like and share. Visitors, should you happen upon the channel, my channel, please feel free to join us. We would love to have you over here. And everyone, should you choose to comment, please do so respectfully. And make sure your notification bell is turned on so you will always stay notified, okay? And in the meantime, Bookers and Bookettes, remember this. As long as there are books around, there's always something to read. Book lovers, Bookers, and Bookettes, thanks for watching and or listening. Be safe, and God bless.